Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're anything like me, you really struggle with keeping an eye on stalled deals. Having a ton of deals in the pipeline is great for business, but also introduces the challenge of keeping up all of these spinning plates. So I found myself in a situation where I'd have 15 or 20 deals in a pipeline and no easy way to see which of those deals had stalled, which of those needed clarification and more eyeballs on my end to make sure the deal gets over the line. At the same time, it's really useful to be able to look at deals and assess whether they are a good fit for your business. In this video, I'm excited to share filters that you can use to instantly spot stalled deals in your pipeline. I'm calling this the Century Framework, and we've been using it internally at ATX for the past 6 months. I'm always on the lookout for new filters and new ways to analyze our deal pipeline. So if you have your own filters, please leave a comment in the description down below. So with that being said, let's jump into the video and explore our first pre-configured view. Our first pre-configured view is no activity in X number of days. We want to automatically surface records that have gone silent so that we can make the appropriate follow-up on the deal. To do this, we're going to get started and create a brand new view in Attio. Go ahead and select the Views button on the top left corner and select Create New View. From here, we're going to type in Century, no activity in 3 days. You can swap out the number of days for yourself. If there's no activity on a deal within 3 given days, that will then roll up the deal into this view. We're going to create it as a table and select Create View. From here, we select Filter and then we type in Interaction. In this example, we're going to be measuring interactions with the entire company, assuming that any interactions are related to a given deal with a company. If you're already working with a company or you have lots of communication that is not relevant to the deal, you would instead select Last Interaction, choosing Person, and then make an interaction on the All Interactions with the given point of contact on the deal. But for now, we're going to type in Interactions and we're going to assign it to Last Company. We're then going to choose All Interactions because we don't care if there's been a meeting or an email. All we're looking at is when the last communication happened. Again, at this point, you can set yourself internally whether you would like interaction to look at the last meeting or the last email. So if there's not been a meeting in 3 days, you would select calendar events. If there's not been an email in 3 days, you would select just emails. For now, we're going to select All Interactions, when, and then in the select condition, we're going to say before, select time, number of days ago, and input our 3-day count. Once you've configured this view, you should see a whole bunch of deals where there has been no interaction with a given company over the past 3 days. And so this is now a useful view for us to look at daily to make sure that we're making follow-ups with deals that have not followed through. Finally, click Save for Everyone, and we can now see that in this view, provided your team member have access to the deals list, they will be able to select no activity in 3 days and view all of the deals rolling up to this view who do not meet that criteria. In our next filtered view, we're going to create a way to show all deals that have tasks that are overdue and not completed but assigned to the deal. To do this, we're going to select on the Views button on the top left corner, create new view, type in Century, and type in Next Task Overdue. We're going to select Filter, type in Task, and depending on where you're using tasks in Attio, we're going to either select Next Due Task on the object. In this case, we're using the Deals object, so we're going to select Next Due Tasks. If you're keeping your tasks on the company or the people, you would select one of these two up here. But for now, we're going to select Next Due Task, Due Date, Select Condition, is before, Select Time, today. This has now rolled up the 3 deals which have tasks that are overdue and not completed. I'm going to turn on the due date for the tasks so that I can see when these tasks were actually overdue by selecting Task, Due Date, and we can now see we have 3 tasks, one due on April 8th, 24th, and April 17th. And finally, I'm going to apply a sort, typing in Task, Next Due Task, Due Date, and ensure that it is set to ascending. These deals are now showing overdue tasks and they are organized in order of when that task was overdue. So the most overdue ones are at the top and the least overdue ones are at the bottom. Once again, we're going to click Save for Everyone, and we now have our second filtered view on the deal pipeline. We can now toggle between no activity in 3 days and next task overdue. Let's create our next filtered view, a way to see a deal that has no upcoming meeting. If a deal doesn't have an upcoming meeting, that's a sign that there is no clear action step or no clear accountability for moving the deal through the pipeline. Once again, we're going to select Create New View and type in Century, no upcoming meeting. We're going to create it as a table view. By selecting on filter, we can then type in interaction, calendar events, when, select condition, is empty. Once we click save for everyone, we can now see all of the deals that do not have a calendar event related to them after today. In this demo workspace, we have 76 deals that don't have a meeting coming up, indicating each of these may very well be stalled and lacking a clear next action item. It's really important that every deal that comes in is being given a lead score so that we can prioritize those deals that are really going to move the needle forwards and to work with the customers that we're excited to work with. Therefore, if a deal does not have a lead score associated to it, that is a problem. We want to have lead scores on all of our opportunities or deals as early as possible in the pipeline process. So to do this, we're going to create a basic lead scoring attribute, and there are a whole bunch of different workflows that you can use to create your own lead scoring system in Attio. For now, we're going to get started by adding in our very own lead scoring attribute. So let's go ahead and create a new view and type in Sentry : missing lead score. We're then going to create our lead scoring attribute by selecting on add column and then selecting create new attribute. We can then use the select attribute and type in lead scoring to give our lead scoring attribute a name. And then underneath options, we're going to add in 3 options to begin scoring our deals. As I mentioned earlier, you may have your own lead scoring workflows in Attio. If you already do, you can use that attribute straight away and you can configure the filter directly on that attribute. But for now, we're going to use this lead scoring select property and assign some of these example lead scores. Now we're going to toggle on the created at attribute so we can see when the deal was initially added to the pipeline. To do this, we're going to select add column and then type created. We can then choose the created at attributes and we can sort this according to when they were created. Great, so once we've done this, we're going to select filter and type in lead scoring, which will bring our attribute. Select condition, we're going to choose is empty. We're then going to select the little 3 dots and select convert to advanced filter, selecting advanced filter and then adding in a new filter to say created at is before and let's say 3 days ago. Once we click save for everyone, this is going to show those deals that do not have a lead score associated to them, but were created more than 3 days ago. So at this point, we know that these deals have been sitting in our pipeline, but they do not yet have a lead score associated to them. Let's also toggle on the deal stage so we can see where the deals are at. And finally, let's apply a sort so that we can organize the deals by stage as well as lead score. Awesome, so we can now see the deals in order of their deal stage on the right-hand column, each with a missing lead score. You can simply inbox zero this every day you come online, simply assigning each a lead score, and they will then disappear from this list. So you can treat it a little bit like an email inbox where we're just triaging these deals and inboxing them down to 0. If a lead does not have a score and you yourself are not sure what the lead score is, or you're not using a workflow to calculate the lead score, this is the point at which you would click into a company, click on tasks, and then assign the owner of the company or the deal the role to provide a lead score. So we now have 4 views created, no activity in 3 days, next task overdue, no upcoming meeting, and missing lead score. If you've been following along in this video, then you have now created 4 distinct views that you can use to organize your deal pipeline and look out for blocked deals. And this is great. We've set up some basic views and we're learning how to apply filters directly on our objects or our lists. But there's still more we can do in Attio. Using Attio's workflows, we can actually automate much of this process and begin capturing other information such as how long a deal has been sitting in a pipeline, if a deal has been moving back and forth between different stages, and if someone has even opened a proposal you've sent and not responded, we can also capture that directly in Attio using Attio's workflows and webhooks. In the next video, we're going to answer the question, how can we use Attio's workflows to automate much of this process and capture even more signal on our given deal pipeline?